Hey, what's good, everybody, man? It's your boy Brady Senior, man. Give you the OMFL news after dark again. Hey, I know you guys are used to, hearing some kind of music in the background, but hey, unfortunately, right now with Nate's music overlays, we will always go silent. But welcome to November, man. It's almost Thanksgiving time, and we're gonna talk about the playoff picture. I'm gonna, have my comments about Nate's top 5 that he did last week on the Press Pass Live. We're also gonna get in here and we're gonna talk about, just what's going on with the Jags this season, and then we'll also talk about the rest of the league, man. Where the standings are, where people are positioned, and we'll even talk about some award nominees for the season. So, hey, we'll be right back after this. Pickety P. Hey, welcome back, everybody, man. It's your boy Brady Senior giving you the OMFL news after dark. Let's go ahead and talk about the week. Where we at? Is it 16? Yeah, week 16. Let's go ahead and talk about the week 16 playoff picture as it stands. Currently, right now, the 1 seeds are the Jaguars and the Lions. It looks like the Cats are getting after it this season. Let's go ahead and talk about the AFC side. If the playoffs was to start today, Jags get the bye. Chargers will play the number 7. So the number 2 Chargers will play the number 7 Steelers. Number 3 Ravens will play the number 6 Bengals. You would have the number 4 Dolphins will play the number 5 Titans. And that is the AFC wild card as it stands on that side. Over on the NFC side, you have the number 2 Cards going against the number 7 Giants. That'll be a hell of a matchup. And then, of course, you have the number 3 Cowboys going against the number 6 Panthers. The number 4 Falcons going against the number 5 Seahawks. And that would be your wild card weekend if the postseason was to start tonight. But let me know what you think in the comments, man. Do you think this is what the playoff picture is going to be? Or do you think someone is going to choke near the end, get some new number 1s, maybe get some new wild card matchups? Hey, let me know what you think in the comments. But hey, it's your boy Brady. We'll be right back after this. Peace. What's good, everybody? Welcome back, man. Hopefully, your Thanksgiving shopping is getting underway as stores are planning on having a lot of scale backs and deliveries. So definitely make sure you get out there and get your shopping in and get you stocked up on everything. Also, real quick, if anyone wants to help out my middle school girls basketball program, we are holding a canned food drive right now in our area, and basically, it's just wanting to teach my girls that you not only do you win on the court, but let's win in off the court as well. Build up their confidence in being able to, lift up those in their community that needs it, especially during the pandemic and also just in general. But moving on with that little shameless plug, man, if anybody wants to help out, by all means, reach out for real. But all canned goods and all donations will have to be in by the 19th because I plan on taking all canned goods that I have, and then anything that we get in donation wise, I will go out and purchase additional canned goods, and then we're gonna distribute them amongst the community here in Fairborn. So anyway, moving on. Record wise, NFL standings. So let's go AFC real quick. Jags are the top dogs in the AFC at 13-2. Close on their heels, you have the Chargers at 12-3. Dolphins at 11-4. Both of Chargers and Dolphins have sewn up their divisions already. And then you have the Ravens, you have the Steelers, you have the Bengals and the Titans are also in that playoff hunt. Now, understand, Titans, Bengals, and Steelers are all tied at 9-5, with the Ravens holding off the Steelers and Bengals at 10-4. So that's what's going on in the AFC. Let's go over to the NFC. Right now, head-to-head winner, Lions leads everyone over in the NFC, with Cardinals right on his heels, Cowboys 11-3 right on their heels, then the Vikings at 10-5. Tied with the Giants at 10-5, Seahawks 10-5. Now, something interesting. When I talked about the playoff race, the Vikings weren't even in the conversation. Okay? Not in the conversation, and that's all because of the Detroit Lions actually owning the division right now at 12-3, which is going to be flipping interesting, because there could be maybe an 11-7 or a 12-5 team that don't make the postseason. So definitely keep an eye on the records and the ratings and the playoff standings. But hey, man, I ran over fucking time. I'll be right back after this. Peace. Hey, welcome back, everybody, man. It's your boy Brady Senior, man, giving you the OMFL News After Dark. Let's go ahead and look at Week 16's schedule right now. Looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games left to be played for the week. But hey, listen, we got some scores to rattle off and talk about some stuff that went down this week already. It looks like Cardinals went up against the Colts and was able to come away with a 33-10 win. The Giants beat the Eagles 31-23. The Patriots beat the Bills 45-23. Jags was able to outlast the Jets 27-21. Chargers beat the Texans 33-26. The Bears beat the Seahawks 29-23. You have the Dolphins beat the Saints 24-17. You actually had the Packers outlast the Browns 22-19. The Vikings are rolling 41-3 over the Rams. Then you had the Lions beat the Falcons 34-27. It's a lot of shape shifting going on, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of shape shifting going on. Some stuff is going down, man. Teams that are not making the playoffs are making the playoffs super, super close. Teams that are not going to make it in are beating teams that are playoff caliber teams and setting up for a crazy, crazy finish. But hey, not gonna talk over my time this time. Hey, I'll be right back into this. Peace. Hey, we back at it. We back at it. Welcome back to the OMFL News After Dark. It's your boy Brady Senior. And shit, man. Let's go ahead and talk about some top performers, passing leaders in the league. Now, of course, these stats are going to be a little bit obscure because we simulated, I want to say, 10 weeks in this post patch. And so we got folks fast at work trying to make sure they keep track of I guess you could say the stats for the back end of the season. To go with the first end of the season in the pre-patch and then work some stuff up. But for that being said, who cares? Let's go ahead and look at what's going on in the league right now. So, passing leaders right now, the top three, you have Aaron Rodgers edging out everybody over Zach Wilson and Russell Wilson. But Aaron Rodgers, 58% completion percentage, 43-63 in yards, 31 TDs. It doesn't show any interceptions or whatnot, but that is our leader right now in passing. Rushing leader is Austin Eckler, but he's followed by Saquon Barkley and Dalvin Cook. Austin has 280 attempts, 1,636 yards for 16 TDs. Over in the receiving side, you have Amari Rodgers, leading all receivers, but Elijah Moore and Juju Smith-Schuster are right on his heels. But Amari Rodgers, man, 89 catches, 1483 in yards, and 9 TDs. Over here, we also have the sack leader, Myles Garrett, but he's tied with Hassan Reddick, and then J.J. Watt is also on the list. But let's talk about the two leaders here. Garrett has 14 sacks, 17 tackles for loss, and Hassan Reddick has 14 sacks, 10 tackles for loss, and then J.J. Watt right on their heels with 13 sacks, 12 tackles for loss. Interception leader goes to Harrison Smith with a smooth 11 and 18 deflections, and then Richard Sherman and Jesse Bates III are also on that list. And then lastly, tackle leader goes to my man in the ATG, that is, Chris Barnes. He's got 119 tackles, 98 solo, but he's also on the list with Shaq Thompson and Eric Kendrick. And hey, this has been a top performer update. We'll be right back after this. Peace. Hey, what's good, everybody, man? It's your boy Brady C giving you the OMFL news at the dark, and we're getting ready to wrap this thing up, man. Definitely went over my time. We're going to go ahead and talk about the 2021 annual awards, and I'm going to go ahead and just say the names as quick as I can, and positions and the actual award, and just try and get through this pretty quickly. Eckler for Offensive Player this is AFC side first. Eckler, Offensive Player of the Year. Sherman, Dolphins, Defensive Player of the Year. You have Lawrence, Jaguars, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Cisco, Jaguars, Defensive Rookie of the Year. You have Tagovailoa, Dolphins, Best Quarterback. Eckler, Chargers, Best Running Back. Smith-Schuster, Steelers, Best Wide Receiver. Hudson, Jaguars, Best O-Line. Garrett, Browns, Defensive Lineman. Miller, Broncos, Best Linebacker. You have Sherman again, Dolphins, Best DB. Butker, Chiefs, Best Kicker. Moving on over to the NFC side, we are going to go ahead and kick this off. We got Murray, Cardinals, Offensive Player of the Year. Smith, Vikings, Defensive Player of the Year. Franks, Falcons, Offensive Rookie. Davis, Washington Football Team, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Murray, Cardinals, Best Quarterback. McCaffrey, Panthers, Best Running Back. Rodgers, Packers, Best Wide Receiver. Martin, Cowboys, Best O-Line. Watt, Cardinals, Best D-Line. Reddick, Panthers, Best Linebacker. Smith, Vikings, Best DB. Zerline, Cowboys, Best Kicker. Those are the top players as of right now through week 16, through week 15 that are slated to. And that's it, man. That's a wrap. We're going to get you over to the Press Pass Live. Appreciate you riding with me. Peace, love, and motherfucking hair grease.
Clear.
You're tuned in to a Grown Folks production. In the mix with the commish, Nate.
And friends, that's what happens when you're sick as a dog and you're still trying to have Press Pass Live. Work your Saints game all day. I'm dead sick. Internet doesn't want to play nice. We're having to record this. I'm hitting the wrong buttons. Just, oh my gosh. It's just one of those things, man. It happens. Life happens. It comes at us pretty fast. But welcome to Press Pass Live, your weekly podcast show I apologize for the cough drop in my mouth. I'm giving you a disclaimer right now. I'm going to be coughing throughout this stupid show, but we're going to get through it. And luckily, I have two buddies here with me tonight that are going to help me get through it. Let me welcome in my guy, Brady, with OMFL News. Thank you so much, Brady, for OMFL News. And my guy, Trey, with the Detroit Lions, two of your top teams here in the OMFL. Fellas, how's it going tonight?
It's going great. I'm sitting here, nice and pretty at number one. And I got a game against Priest in the season. I'm thinking I might have home field advantage for once.
Hey, I'm doing good as well, man. It's a nice night. My Jaguars in real life was able to get them an ugly win today, but a win's a win, right? So
Josh Allen beat Josh Allen.
That's it.
Yeah, Brady, they don't put any asterisks next to those W's. At the end of the season, nobody's going to remember if it was pretty or pretty ugly. A win is a win, man. I think you guys are building something pretty cool over there. It'll be a fun team. OMFL-wise, you already got that thing built, but in the NFL, I think it's going to be a really fun team. Well, fellas, we got a hell of a show to jump into, so I'm going to just throw us right into the fire. And we're going to take a look at the OMFL playoffs. Now, Bill was kind enough to send me his updated list, which matches very, very closely with the list that the Data Leagues is showing. But I got what the Madden franchise is showing right now. So right now, if it ended this moment, which we still have some games in week 17 to play, and then we still have week 18. So lots of stuff still to be cited. Jaguars are your number one seed in the AFC. That would set up the Colin and the Chargers to face the Tennessee Titans, 2 versus 7. 3 versus 6 would be Ross and his Dolphins versus Nipples and the Ravens. And then 4 versus 5 would be Denbrew and his Bengals versus Jason Clyde. I never know what name I'm supposed to call him, in the Pittsburgh Steelers at the 5 seed. Also in the running, as of tonight, are the Colts at 8-7 and the Raiders at 8-7. So a couple of teams still vying for some positions. Now, I know if Wynn was here tonight, he'd tell us how his season has been over since week 2 and blah, 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 blah. But he's not here. It's being recorded. He'll have to watch this a little bit later. Guys, this will set up some really fun matchups. Question to get us started, and we're going to start with you, Trey, because Brady, this is your expertise. And so, Trey, who do you think gets in, isn't in? Is it set? Is this going to move around a little bit?
Well, the Raiders and the Colts play each other this week, so one of them's eliminating the other.
Is that week 17?
Yes, I was just looking at the schedule. So that'll be a fun one to watch if I can get hold of it.
I'm picking the Colts in that one. I think they're going to win that one.
I'm going to go with he who shall not be named is going to be a key factor in that game. Don't know if we can talk about him just yet. But I think the Raiders will pull that one out. I just don't think the Colts have the speed to keep up with them.
Yeah, it should be a really fun game. But, Brady, it's going to set up some really interesting matchups. Now, I know that you got some passionate feelings sitting here at number one. You're going to get the bottom of the barrel that's left in the divisional round. But which matchups in the wild card round are you most looking forward to? And who are you most looking forward to? Or I guess I shouldn't say most looking forward. Who do you think you'll play in round 2?
Oh, man. Teams that I expect to make it to the second round. Chargers, of course. You would think the Chargers get there. Not trying to say anything about my South running mate, the Titans. I know he would love to get there. It would be awesome to have multiple teams in the divisional round from the South Division. Only thing is if the Titans win, of course, it's going to be me versus the Titans. But of course, like I said, Chargers, Dolphins, those are two teams that I would honestly would say should be there based on how they play and their record. But I mean, playoffs is the playoffs, man. Depending on how I finish the season, hell, I might not even make it to the AFC Championship game. Not really wanting to go that route, but yeah, man. I mean, the sky's the limit.
on the AFC side. I just got to continue to handle business. That's my vision. I don't want anything to do with Lamar Jackson, though. That's for sure.
I was about to ask that question. We're going to save our predictions for next week because we still don't know who's actually going to be in there. It'll be a prediction from divisional round on, depending on how fast these playoffs get done. But, or who knows, we may have to do a special just playoff prediction show just by itself. Are the Ravens, I'm sorry, I'll open this to either one of you. Are the Ravens possibly the best ever 6th seed, like bottom half, not one of the top seeds? Are the Ravens quite possibly the best road team we've ever seen in the playoffs? I would say so, because you've got Jackson, you've got that running game, you've got that great defense. Nipples has some things figured out over there, man, and he's playing really well with that team. I would not want to face them anywhere.
Brady, you got anything? I'll take that as a no. Yeah, very well. I went up against Nipples. I believe it was week 3. It was a disconnect in the first game. Second game, he narrowly escaped with victory. It's hard to stop that team if you are focusing purely on Lamar Jackson for the offensive side, and that defense can hit you from multiple different directions with blitz packages and coverage. It's hard to beat the Baltimore team.
I wish EA would make a small tweak to this playoff prediction thing that we have here. Is like where it shows the AFC and the NFC first round buys. Like they get a first round buy. Instead, put the players still in the running, right? Like put them right there. Be a better use of the space. I know the game knows that information. So let's jump over to the NFC. Right now, we have the Detroit Lions, the number 1 seed. Got both my number 1 seeds here tonight. The Dallas Cowboys, the number 2 seed. They're playing the number 7 seed Seahawks. The Cardinals at the number 3 seed, playing the Vikings at the number 6 seed. It's Maniac versus D-Money. That would be a fun one to watch. And then the Panthers at the number 4 seed, playing Pepper at the number 5 seed. A couple of really fun team matchups in the running still as of tonight. Now, Bill actually has this a little flip-flop, so I'm assuming the game has it right, Bill, and maybe the game knew the tiebreakers or did the tiebreakers slightly different. Right now, Bill has it as the Cowboys is the number 3 seed, the Cardinals the number 2 seed, and then the Vikings the number 1 wild card, so that would be the 5 seed, the Giants the number 6 seed, and he's got the Saints as the number 7 seed. Still alive is the Seahawks and the Falcons. This is going to come down. I pulled, and we can talk about it if people want to. I didn't have it on the agenda, but I pulled a rabbit out of my colon yesterday in my game versus the Panthers, who won on the last play of the game, just snapping the ball as time ran out and got in some way, somehow, and that sets up a really pivotal matchup in week number 18, Saints-Falcons. Falcons handled me at home. I'm on the road. It's going to be one of those almost impossible games to win, but it's about my only chance for me to kind of sneak in there. So I don't know if Bill's right. I'm assuming the game's right. And again, the tiebreakers get wonky because we don't know exactly how the game does tiebreakers. Trey, going to hold you like I did for Brady in the second opinion. Brady, if you're still with us, what teams do you think actually get in on the NFC? Do you think it's set how we see it here, or do you think there's a little bit of a change?
I mean, there's definitely some wiggle. There's definitely some wiggle room with, depending on, teams that lose in week 18. I mean, you got to think if the Panthers lose in week 18, and you yourself are able to, the Saints are able to, get a win, you should be in. Panthers should be out. I mean, and I hate to say it that way because. Now that I actually look at it, I mean, Panthers division-wise, may be in position to win division, so I could be wrong on that. But if any 10-6 or 10-5 team lose multiple games back-to-back, and you're able to at least come away with a win next week, you should be in. Some of this is set, but yeah, man, it's in a way, it's almost too early to tell because, I mean, and I'm looking at divisions right now. Yeah, I mean, it's a tie at the top in the South between Saints and Panthers. So who holds the head-to-head in that, Nate?
It's 1-1. And I have no clue what it goes to when it comes to tiebreaker. My assumption is divisional record, which
You guys are tied. You guys are both tied in that as well, 3-2 apiece.
But I got the Falcons next. And I don't know who. I'm assuming he's got the Bucks then if he's at 3-2 as well. So it's gonna set up an interesting week number 18, and I think it's interesting to point out that we're gonna have possibly multiple double-digit win teams in the NFC not make the playoffs, and yet in the AFC we have an 8-7 team still in the hunt. If you're 8-7 today in the NFC, you've been out for a couple of weeks, and you've probably been playing some backups for XP and draft position. It's just there has been a shift in power. The NFC and the OMFL for a long time has kind of been the king conference, but there's always been one or two powerhouses. And this year, it's your Jaguars, Brady. Your Jaguars are going to be the ones that if you can get over the hump, you can maybe shut down some of this talk. But right now, conference-wise, the record-wise, the power really leads or sits in the NFC. Trey, this will set up, again, I got 2 number 1 seeds here on the show. This sets up some really fun possible matchups here. Bill and Dwayne would be a ton of fun. I'd love to see if Maniac can stay in his game plan against D-Money. D-Money's beatable now more than ever. And then, again, Panthers, Giants, that would be an even matchup. Falcons, Giants, Saints, Giants. I don't know how all of that's going to kind of work out. Those would be some really fun games. Which of these matchups do you think might happen that you would be looking forward to the most? And then who do you think comes into round 2 that you'll be able to face for round 2?
Well, I still have to hold off before making my decision because we still got D-Money versus D-Wayne this week. So
that's right. Could be a big shift right there.
I'm banking on that being for second place.
Make the prediction.
I haven't played D-Wayne. I played D-Money. D-Money's not as good as he once was. If the Lions were able to move the ball on that defense, anybody can beat it. I'm going to go with D-Wayne. What that opens up, I have no idea. But, hey, we'll see what happens. As for looking at opponents, I know that the Falcons still have to play the Bills, which would then, if they win, make a 3-way tie for the South. I would love to get another game in against Kobe. Our friendly rivalry would continue. But I would also like to get my crack at the old commish over here.
Yeah, I don't know that would be anything that I would enjoy, but we'll see. It'll be a fun. Who do you think? If you have to make a prediction, okay, I'm putting your feet to the fire. Who do you think you'll face in round 2? Who do you think's coming out as the lowest seed for round 2?
So I'm banking on it would most likely be Pepper being the lowest seed.
Okay.
And I think he's put up some decent games against Mr. Wayne himself, so he could possibly sneak that one out. And I'd definitely enjoy trying to smash up Kenny Galladay.
Well, that would be a fun matchup between you two really defensive-minded coaches, but guys who can play some really good football. Well, we got a lot to decide over the next probably 3 to 4 or 5 days, human days, as we get through the rest of week number 17 and move into week number 18. Guys, I want to do something a little bit different here. It's something we haven't really done ever before, but at the end of each season, we have what's called the Toilet Bowl, and the Toilet Bowl winner and second place runner-up, they both get some XP awards. It's a tournament just to get people involved who didn't make the playoffs, so they're not sitting around for 7, 6, 5 days, whatever kind of the playoffs take. Gives them something to do. It's a little bit different because we use the online rosters, so you kind of get to play with your team online, and you can earn some XP. So I wanted to talk about your favorite teams moving into the Toilet Bowl. You can give me one, give me two, maybe three, I guess I could give you. I don't know. You can't name them all because you got to pick some of them sooner or later. We don't really know who's in, who's out. You can just kind of make the assumption if they don't make the playoffs, they could be a team that you could pick. So right now, if we went through all of the teams, I'm going to try to pick the teams that I think are not in. So could be a Panthers, Saints, Falcons. We're going to kind of exclude those three because we don't quite know about them. Also going to exclude the Colts and Raiders. So that's going to put us at the Browns, the Bears, Patriots, Broncos, Washington football team, 49ers, Jets, Buccaneers, Bills, Packers, Chiefs, Rams, Eagles, and Texans. Brady, I want to start with you. If you had to pick one, two teams, something like that, as your kind of teams that you think would be red hot moving into the Toilet Bowl, who are you taking?
Oh man, I would honestly take. Oh, let me get back to my standing. Let me get back to the standings here real quick. I would take the Niners, maybe even
Their
football team.
new owner Togue.
Niners. Football team would be another one. The Bears would be a nice team to use in the toilet bowl. Now, a team that I use in the ATG that if they weren't so, they weren't so cap heavy, the Packers is a dangerous team, especially if used correctly. Over in the AFC side, Bills would be trouble, Pats would be trouble. You can actually do some damage with Broncos as well. Chiefs. I mean, come on. Chiefs. I'm not sure what's going on with the Chiefs as of right now. Yeah. That's interesting. Also the Browns. The Browns would be another team that could have a nice little XP party. If they're used in the toilet bowl.
Trey, who do you think is going to be the team to watch in the Toilet Bowl?
Now, it's going to be weird for me saying this because I'm rooting for them to keep losing for like the next season 2. But the Rams.
Yeah.
I think they're with Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, and Riggs, and if that roster update comes in, there's going to be Von Miller as well. That's going to be nasty to deal with in the regular rosters.
Yeah, that could be a really tough team. I'm trying to also factor in the owners here. Who's been playing better football in the second half of the season? I'm going to give you two names. One has not been said. One has been said. I think the Washington football team, Big Hurt has gone over there. Now, it's still going to be a quarterback issue because they real life don't have a quarterback. But I think he could get on a run. He's won the Toilet Bowl before. Every time he seems to win it, the next season he's in the playoffs. So he could easily have that team rolling and playing really, really well. And then I'm going to throw out the Philadelphia Eagles and my guy Kev. Kev has been playing much better football here in the second half. He's got this game starting to figure out. He's knocking off some of that 1-year ring rust that he had on him. And, in the update, he should have, a better team than he started with right here. And I just think could be one of those teams that could get into the Toilet Bowl, make some noise, catch some guys on an off night, and be able to have a really, really good run at winning the Toilet Bowl. So some fun stuff, man. I love the Toilet Bowl. It's always fun to kind of, you just don't know what to expect because we play by the same rules, but you play with the updated rosters, and that can just totally just change everything. And so, it'll be really fun to see who ends up signing up for the Toilet Bowl and who ends up kind of throwing themselves in there. All right, I'm going to come back over here to my full screen. We're going to get ready to pull up some owner-submitted questions. Let's see what we can do here. Here's what I want to talk about. I actually had an idea. Is this going to be what we want? Nope, that's not what we want. Can one of you? No, I think I have it. Never mind. My bad. I got it right here. Sorry, I should have had this set up, and I thought I had it set up, and I didn't have it set up, and I'm setting it up right now as I talk. Here is an idea. I don't think I know neither one of you guys have heard this idea, but it is a brand new idea that I had the other night when I was looking at all of the screenshots. I was waiting for my game to kind of get started, and so I was checking out all the screenshots, and I had an idea for a competition. So I think what I'm going to do at the end of this season, there we go. Actually, let's come over here. We're going to go full cam, and we're going to bring it up right here. So my idea is this going to be the one? Yep, that's going to be the one that we want. Here's my idea. I keep talking around in circles because I'm trying to do 17 things at one time. My idea is we're going to have a competition at the end of the season. So we're going to let every owner that wants to. I know, Brady, you do really well at this. Trey, you kind of hit and miss. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. I know Maniac's one. I'm going to throw mine out there. We're going to let owners submit their favorite photo from season 97 that they took. And then we're going to put it up for a league-wide vote. I don't know if we'll get all 32 to vote. We'll see. We'll let owners not vote for their own, so I won't be able to vote for mine, Brady not his. You'll have to vote for somebody else's that you think is the best one, and whoever wins is going to win 3 XP. Whoever comes in second place, 2 XP. Whoever comes in third place, 1 XP. I think it'd just be a fun way to add some XP, make those screenshots that everybody's taken mean just a little bit more, and it's a lot of work. You guys take the time after their game to go ahead and do that, and I want to be able to award them for that. So that's an idea that we've thrown out there that we're going to do. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I think it'll be a fun little thing to throw out there and see what guys think.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea. I know a majority of my good snapshots are in the other league, so.
You can't make me laugh. I'm going to sit here and cough like I'm an old man. Brady, what do you think? You always seem to think the opposite of anything that I think. So
No. I mean, it's a cool way to, kind of reward those that are engaged. I mean, that's really it's just another way of gaining engagement from owners and users, other than just cutting the game on, playing the game, submitting feedback, and then going silent. It's just another way to just, hey, stay involved, get involved. This is the reward for being involved and staying involved. So I mean, it'd be a plus. It'd be a plus for the league. I just got to get better at my screenshots now. So that's all.
Oh no, you've taken some good ones. I think you've got some classic ones. I've already started using some of those for videos. All right, we got 2 questions tonight. One comes from our guy Trey. I'm going to go ahead and let him ask it live if he remembers it. And then our guy Colin took one. Who I see you, Colin. Thanks for joining in here. I always feel like Colin, yours are like little shots, little pew, pew, like right across my bow. Not my bow necessarily, but it's kind of like across the bow of the board. But I dig it. I got nothing but love for Mr. Colin. Trey, do you remember your question?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Mostly because I just pulled it up. Does it feel like this season has shown that with the right user, bad teams can be winners? Jaguars and Lions are middle-tier rosters at best, and we're both currently leading the NFC and the AFC respectively.
I'd love to have you both chime in with your own thoughts. I'll go first since this isn't about me. It's about both of you, and I'm sure you'll have your own thoughts about your team. I don't know that I 100% agree middle of the tier. If you're looking at overall ratings, you might have a bit of an argument. But again, we understand that Madden, the ratings of both players and franchises get elevated because of the awareness, right? The awareness carries such a big factor. And we understand that like awareness affects such a small percentage of actual gameplay, right? Like it just doesn't carry the weight that that I think they want it to carry. So I don't know that I 100% agree that both of you have middle of the tier rosters. I think you both have really good rosters in certain positions. Now, you may not be the Dallas Cowboys, the Seattle Seahawks. I'm trying to think of some of the other, Baltimore Ravens. Like, you may not be those teams. I can agree with that. You're not that upper level of talent. Lions, you're definitely missing a quarterback. But Brady, I mean, he's got 2 stud running backs, can start on any team, any place, anywhere. He's got a great quarterback. I know he's a rookie, but he's a great quarterback that has great stats to build off of day one. He's got some skill positions on defense. He's got some speed at wide receiver. And I don't know the Detroit Lions roster nearly as well, but I know they have some pieces, especially on that defensive side of the ball. You've got some speed on the defensive side of the ball. So I think that the basis of the question is skewed slightly. But I also think this Madden awards, people have such a love-hate relationship with Madden, and people have such passionate feelings about Madden. I personally feel like, people can argue with me all day long. I don't want to debate or argue. It's just my personal feelings. This game awards and makes people pay for what we see in the real life. If you turn the ball over, if you're just slinging it around, if you don't have a game plan, if you're not mixing up your defense to try to trick the other guy and set him up into a mistake, you're going to lose ball games. And if you're really good at those things, if you're good at running the ball and sticking to a game plan, if you're going to have balance on offense, if you're going to let your skill players make plays and not turn the ball over, and then on defense, you're going to either, I think you can attack teams several ways, either swarm them with pass rush, blitzing, that kind of thing. I know our rules keep some of that in check. There are some teams that get after the quarterback better than others, and then really scheme up opportunities for turnovers. You're going to be a winning team. And when we talk about both the Detroit Lions and the Jacksonville Jaguars, I, again, may not 100% agree that you're both middle of the tier rosters, but I do think you both would be winners no matter what team, almost what team that you were given. I think you both need, for your own strengths, some strength areas in certain positions, right? Like, Trey, if I gave you, I don't know, I'm trying to think about a team with a bad defense, and one's not really coming to mind, but like, you're a defensive minded guy that needs some speed on the defensive side. If Brady took over a team with 0 running backs, I don't think he would lose, but I think he would struggle a bit more. So anyway, I think both your teams set up really well with imports and everything for you to be successful, and you both scheme really well. You both play really efficient offense. You rarely make mistakes. You force the other guy to kind of push the envelope and make mistakes, and that's going to turn into winning football, and that's in the NFL. If you win the time of possession, you don't turn the ball over, you make the other guy turn the ball over, you're going to win more games than you lose, and that's what you two are really, really good at. Trey, I'd like for you to save your thoughts for last. Brady, what do you think about his question? Do you think is this something different about this Madden? Do you think it's something about your roster? Like, what are your feelings about this?
So the way I feel about this Madden is, for the last 4 cycles, I've had a playbook in place that, I know the ins and out of it, but each and every Madden, like you said, is different. And, certain things would work, other things wouldn't work. Now it's next gen. I literally have the same playbook that I've been using for 4 cycles on next gen console, and both sides of the ball work really well. My defensive playbook is nice. My offensive playbook is nice. Minus, the tweaks here and there because of updates. I have a nice balance, but still there's a part of me that, that I'll say this until I'm blue in the face. There's a part of me that still feels somewhat handicapped. But if 14-2 is handicapped, I would hate to see how I'm playing with a little extra freedom. So as far as the question is concerned, middle tier, yes, I do have a low tier roster. I wouldn't say low tier roster, but certain pieces have given me a little bit upgrades here or there on offense and defense, and we make the most of it. But I mean, I'm an opportunistic guy, so every situation is going to be like, oh yeah, we need the most of it. So I like where I'm at, but I still got to get better at passing. That's my biggest thing, though, for sure.
All right, Trey, share us your thoughts. Your question.
I said it from the get-go. Lions had the worst roster in the game. Numerous people agreed with me. Nate, you, however, did not. That is how it is. I'm using my skill. Doug Glenn has saved my rear on numerous occasions. And it's working. I'm a person that I never tend to keep the same playbook from year to year. I'll change from Madden 20 to Madden 21 to Madden 22. I've changed my playbooks every year. And it's getting the pieces put in place. Offensively, I'm somehow getting Goff to carry me. I don't know how. I don't know why it's working. Obviously, that just shows that the slider adjustments that were made from pre-OMFL to post-scouting, it's doing its job. I was doing very horrible with Goff, and outside of the OMFL throwing with him, now I'm getting more consistent results from him. Defensively is obviously, I don't have much skill there, but as you mentioned, Nate, I have speed in the right spots. I feel that's a key portion of what's helping. And yeah, I do feel that, with the right user, a mid or low tier team can definitely compete with somebody that's, might not be the great user, but has a great team.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I look, if you're looking for a pat on the back, I'll give it to you. You're doing some great things. Your Lions are the number one seed for a reason. You deserve every accolade that you're going to earn this year. You'll be up for owner of the year. Both of you will be. And so if that's what you're looking for, I'll give it to you because you've earned it and you've played really great. I just think we have to look at the owner specifically and the team specifically beyond just overall in awareness, right? And I know that your Detroit Lions were handed a pretty low bar when it came to roster, but with all those picks you got from the Rams, you're going to have that thing turn around in 1 or 2 seasons, which kind of brings me to another quick point that I'll make really quick before we move over to Colin's question, which is about playbooks, which you both mentioned. And so this will be a fun conversation, but it seems I just learned this tonight, didn't know this, and I'm going to be in deep doo-doo because I made one re-sign this offseason, but the Saints in real life are in cap hell. The problem is, in real life cap hell, you can do things to get out of that cap hell quickly that you can't do in the OMFL. So I have no clue what I'm really going to do to even field a team next year, but the board will have to help me figure that one out. But anyway, it seems that Madden, haven't tested this. I'm just taking somebody's word for it. It probably needs to be tested to confirm. But Madden does not take into account your draft picks for your cap room. And so when it shows you that you have $60 million, say it is not factoring in the $15 million for your draft picks, or maybe more if you have more of those draft picks like our guy Trey here with the Detroit Lions. So if you're a team like me who, in real life, well, there you go. I did not know this, and so I did not save any money. And again, I only re-signed one player, my left tackle. You're going to be in trouble, and we'll have to figure that out. We're not going to rule with the iron fist because this is brand new information to me. I haven't been through a whole season, and we only know what we know. So we'll figure it out as we always do.
I can give you some help with that, Nate. So in the re-sign phase, the rookie reserves come in, and from the testing I've done, the rookie reserve is what a quarterback salary would be at each pick.
Which I have no clue what it is. But
The
I
higher
heard
up the
about $15 million for a normal 7 rounds worth of picks. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's usually about 15.5 from what I've seen with normal 7 rounds.
So again, we'll figure it out. I think my team's going to be one of the rarities, maybe the Chiefs. I don't really know other cap situations. I just know Saints were $150 million over the cap this past year and had to work their magic to get under. But, that doesn't necessarily correlate to Madden. And so I'm in trouble, and I'm going to have to figure it out. So let's get to our last question, and Colin is in here to listen to this one. He says, are you going to continue to only be able to edit your playbook during the bye week and off season? I enjoyed tinkering my playbook from time to time, and it was never an issue my first 5 years in the OMFL. It's that last part. If you would have just put a period from time to time, period, it wouldn't have felt like a shot. But Colin, you have a really bad habit of always taking a little enough shot to make it feel personal. I don't know how both of you feel. I've been kind of thinking about this question, Colin. It's my first year trying this. My thought process behind it is NFL teams don't completely revamp their playbooks in the middle of the season. And so you shouldn't be able to either. And it helps with scouting. For those of us who want to put in the effort, I want to be able to go look at somebody's playbook and see what are they using, what are they leaning on. I do understand the tinkering portion of your statement, and so again, I'll talk with the board, and if they shoot it down and say get rid of it, we'll get rid of it. We won't do it anymore. I've done many ideas like that around here, from coaching carousels to other things that maybe work in theory but don't really work in practice. And so I've never been one beyond throwing away my ideas, whether they work or not. And if the board feels like, hey, this just isn't working, we'll get rid of it. But maybe we just add in, if they do like it, we add in the flexibility of your playbook formations are set after week 4. So you have 4 weeks to tinker, and then you have a 5th week in the bye week to tinker. So technically you got 5 weeks that you can mess with formations, which I think is plenty in an 18-week season. But maybe we say that you can add and take away plays from the formations that you have. And so though I can't change my formations, if I want to go and tinker with my playbook and add in a few more passing formations or a few more passing plays in the formations I have, because I'm playing a team that shuts down the run, we could allow that. I think that would be more than fair to go ahead and be able to add in kind of that question mark, I think, for the other team. Like, they can download your playbook, but you may actually change the plays inside that playbook. So I'm totally open to ideas, but the thought process behind it, I know most of the league is not going to put in that kind of effort, but I will. And I know some others will. They'll go download your playbook and see, what do you like to do? What do you don't like to do? Because again, I'm trying to create immersion, and if people want to put in that kind of energy and effort to build their team up with the stats in front of us of what you run, what you don't run, what you lean on, what you don't lean on, that having that ability to go look at your playbook and start to create a game plan, I think is just another layer of immersion and something that I'm excited about. So I don't know if either one of you have feelings one way or the other, but I'd love to open it up and see what you may or may not think.
All right. So for me, my stance on the whole playbook thing is early in the season I had and this was before the deadline, but early in the season I had a 3 wide receiver situation pop up in court. So before the deadline, I went and I removed all 3 wide receiver sets and uploaded that said playbook that way I was done with that. But ultimately, if someone wants to download and look at my plays, that's not like, the playbook itself is not going to keep a log of what I run. Like, it's not going to keep a log of what I run. The only way you're gonna know what plays I go to is if you're watching the stream and you're watching me select my plays. That's where you'll see how many plays a certain person has ran out of those 3 plays that are showing at all times. And that's when it comes to the whole thing of creating a playbook and having a playbook, like, someone downloading my playbook is not going to give them an advantage. Them watching film, that might give them an edge, but even then, I'll be the first one to tell you, I'm still going to run the ball. Stop it. You know what I'm saying? I'm still going to do certain things that I do because I have a script for just about everything that I run. I have a script for first down and long. Second and short or second and long. I have a script of 10 plays each that I've gone through my playbook over the years, and I've just been able to build a script. And yeah, like I get the rule, but everybody game plan every week something different. It's never the same. So I don't know what they do for pros. I know they're not scrapping a whole playbook and then putting a new playbook out. Like, I doubt they're doing that, but I know every week a team puts in, they go through their playbook and they put in a game plan around some different plays, or they add something new to it. So me personally, I don't care either way. I think, each owner should have that right to game plan and scheme how they want. Only thing that I would say combat is the glitch plays, the cheesy plays, stuff like that. Because there are certain plays out there that you can actually run and AI doesn't even fucking move. Like, stuff like that, or if somebody's downloading the ebook, things of that nature. That's even if they still have those things for the next gen. But in the but in the PS4, the ebooks was a thing, and yeah, me personally, I don't care, either way. So when the rule was announced, I was just like, whatever, man. Whatever the board decides, it is what it is. I just adjust, adapt, and I just keep it moving. Because ultimately, why hang up on something that technically is out of your control? Like, you still got to go out there and play the game. So if that's just like if the league was to start and you guys said, you know what, you got to use team specific playbooks. I would go to the admins and I'd be like, here, play with the Jaguars' actual playbook and tell me if you want to play with this all season long. All they have is single back, shotgun.
See, now you're just picking a fight, though. You see, this is the kind of thing that I get a little put out with. Like, now you're just poking me. That's all you're doing. I love you, Brady. You know I love you. Well, I don't know that you know that, but I'm telling you I love you to death. But now you're just poking me because I wouldn't do that. So it's like now we start taking because we don't like, you don't maybe, we don't have to agree, right? I know you and I rarely agree. But it's like we let's go a step further. Now let's like create an irrational conversation to have that Nate's now going to make me use my very specific Jaguars playbook. There's a difference between saying, let's upload a playbook so that people can scout. And now I'm going to go force you to play. Not only, Brady, do you have to play the Jaguars playbook, but you can only play the starters that the Jaguars start in real life. Like, come on, like cut me some slack here.
No. And that's,
I don't do that kind of stuff.
And that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if that was a decision at the beginning of this whole thing, beginning of this season, beginning of this cycle, you guys came and said, hey, you have to
Brady, I
use your
get the
team
point,
specific.
but it's irrational.
Right.
It'd be like saying, well, what if Nate said you can't beat him? I would still play here because, let's not have an irrational conversation that Nate's like doing these irrational things. Like, I get the point that you're trying to make, that you're willing to, like, you've always said that I'll adjust or whatever. And you do. Like, me and you have sometimes uncomfortable, sometimes not uncomfortable, sometimes adult conversations. And you're like, yo, we make fun of it. It's understood, right? Like, you adjust and move forward, and you don't, let things stick in your craw here. And I give you credit for that. At the same time, I'm not going to go and start making rules up that don't make any sense at all.
And again, I was just giving an example more so than anything. It wasn't that was what you guys were going to do. It was just, if that was the case, I would have approached the board in a way to where I would have just been like, hey, just take a look at this playbook, because the Jaguars' actual playbook is almost as bad as the playbook I used the first time I played you in this in the OMFL. Yeah. So I'm just saying it. It didn't have that many.
Worse, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. That was absolute worst, because you were pissed that day. You were totally pissed. But go ahead, Trey.
Well, as soon as you told me the situation, I wasn't as frustrated. I was pissed at first when I was like, "Is this dude just running shotgun versus?" And then you explain what happened. I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that sucks, but I get it." Trey, what do you think about this playbook situation?
When that rule got announced, I just sat there. I'm like, why? I sat there and puzzled it and thought, you can have my playbook, but you don't know what I'm going to call in what order. I'm in the same boat as Brady. Download it all you want. You don't know what sequence I'm pulling the plays out in.
Well, no one should, so there's that. But the point isn't so that people can know what plays you guys are running. It's just that for the teams that want to put in the effort, that want to scout a little bit more, it's much easier for me to use that as a scouting mechanism than it is to go watch 17 hours of film. Because I don't know who's sitting around with nothing to do to go watch a bunch of old film, but most of us don't have that kind of time. And I think it also, back to one of the points that Brady made, it holds all of us accountable. Holds us accountable to what playbook are you running, what plays are in that playbook, and if you're not doing anything fishy, then put it up. And I get Colin's point of view that I like to tinker, and teams tinker all the time. Brady hit it on the head, right? Like, teams add in things and they take away things and they have a game plan, but that's one of the things that don't 100% correlate to Madden, is that in the NFL, they're probably running, a third of the plays that we run here in the OMFL is playbook wise, right? Because humans can't usually learn 1,000 playbooks, both offense and defense. So I think, again, it's just a way to hold us accountable, give another layer of scouting for those teams that want it. And again, I'll take it to the board and say, here's what I'm hearing, and do you guys want to change it? So we'll see what guys think, and we'll see what guys say. Let's get what do we want to do? Let's get over here. Maybe not. There we go. All right, let's put a bow on the show. That's going to be it for our owner-submitted questions. We looked at the playoffs. We had a lot of fun conversations around toilet bowl teams, around playbooks, all kinds of fun stuff. And I feel like I did as good a job as I can to not cough everyone's head off. I apologize again that we had to go record it tonight, but internet just was not having it for some reason, even after full resets and everything. So let's go to what we've learned today. I'm going to start with you, Trey. What did you learn today?
I learned the NFC is by far the best conference, and it's just iron sharpening iron on the road to the OMFL Bowl.
Mr. Brady, what did you learn today?
Yeah, I learned that the biggest thing is NFC is still, a dominant conference, but I think the AFC has some pieces in place that that'll be able to compete if given out the right, the right ones make it, and actually, this is going to be a matchup thing, dude. It's a matchup thing. Yeah. NFC is still tough, though. NFC is still tough.
Yep, I agree with you. I learned that the NFC is going to have up to three teams with double-digit wins not make the playoffs, and there's no worse feeling, to go all in, win double digits, do what you think you should have to get into the playoffs, and not only miss out on the playoffs and have to be sitting at home with everybody else, but you don't even get a good pick to look forward to. You get some middle-of-the-road pick, and you're just like, you're left in no man's land. I think I'd want one or the other. Put me in the playoffs. Give me a chance to go win it all, or send me home with less than a 6-win season. Let me get a good pick out of the whole ordeal. Well, Brady, Trey, thank you guys. I see a bunch of guys in the chat hanging out with us again. I apologize for being sick and for not being able to go live, but I will upload this overnight. It will be ready for you first thing tomorrow for those of you who were not able to sit here and chat with us. And hopefully this internet thing will figure itself out, because I'm off tomorrow, and if there's any games to call, I plan on trying to call some games, so that would be fun. I haven't called games since the OMFL Bowl season number 96. So for all of the board here in the OMFL, from my bottom of my heart, thank you. Yep.
Do you mind if I step in here? Just adding on that
Of course I mind, but I'm going to let you do it anyway.
It's nice to be sitting with potentially a top 3 pick as also a playoff spot.
We get it, Trey. We get it. We get it. I just pray that you get some, 32 injury rating, normal dev punter with that number 3 pick. So,
that's pick 31 or 32. Because I'm making that a little bowl.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I think you're going to have a very dominant roster after this season, and you will have an opportunity to go on a hell of a run if you were in the AFC. But guess what, big fella? You're not in the AFC, and you got the money. The likes of D-Money and D-Wayne and Pepper and Beal and Panther Nation and Kobe. Like, it's just murders row over here. I do believe
the ones you need
is going to be better next season, but you're not going. I don't see you going on a Penguins run here or a D-Money run, just because it's so hard over here, man.
Hold up. Bill fell. Kobe fell. D-Money fell.
I didn't say you can't beat those teams. I didn't say that you can't beat those teams. I just don't think that you'll always easily beat them and just run through everybody. I don't think that's
I never said it was going to be
these
easy.
Teams, that's what I'm saying. Like, Penguins and D-Money made it look easy. They went 5-6 in a row. I don't see anyone being able to do that because the NFC is so stacked. And if anyone could do that, it'd be Brady in this young roster, because it's just an easier journey for him to get there. But hey,
when there's Tyreek Hill and Julio Jones, yeah.
Well, we'll see. That's the fun thing about this. We can offer opinions.
Let's see what happens.
We all got to show up and play it on the field. So we're going to find out who can actually play it on the field, and I'm looking forward to it. So, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. We will see you next week. Until then, God bless you. Be good. Love on people. We'll see you.
Hey, thanks for having us, mate.
Yes, sir.
Smash that like and subscribe.